Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Today, we have second round of our 100 series, this time at the track known as Bahrain Endurance. Very awkward track, not a very good track if you ask me. But we are going to get going here for qualifying. So, away we go, around this very awkward circuit. If you haven't seen Bahrain Endurance before, let me take you around a lap. Of course, we're going to have to be careful here in the out lap on stone cool tires. But, yeah, normal Bahrain turn 1, tight right-hander, feeds directly into turns 2 and 3. Then you have a bit of a run up here to turn 4. And then this is where things get different. We turn left here on the exit, much like you do for the outer circuit. Then we have this fast right-hander, which turns into a left-right chicane. And usually you go straight on here, back onto the GP for the outer circuit. Here we take a very sharp turn right that I've completely missed the apex of. And then we have this awkward sequence, another tight right-hander first gear, up to second gear, bit of a quicker left-hander here that isn't too bad. Then with tight left-hander here that leads back onto the GB circuit to the start of the normal Sector 2 into the normally high-speed S's. Isn't very high speed in this layout. And then we're on the normal GP circuit from here. This is the normal turn 8, tight, awkward right-hander. Difficult braking there, but even more difficult braking as we come over the crest into turn 9. Or normally turn 9, braking for the tight turn 10. Very easy to lock the front left there with the crest. Also trying to turn and slow down. Turn 3, turn 9 and slow the car down for 10. Then turn 11, sort of simplish left-hander. How brave do you want to get? Make sure not turn wide on that outside curb. Then try flat out through turn 13. These cars not quite able to do it. Car bouncing around a little too much as I'm getting to turn 13. And then final corner leads us on to start our first flying lap. As you can tell, quite a long lap, this Bahrain Endurance. Well over 2 minutes. Well, too wide for this right-hander. So of course we're here at nighttime as usual in Bahrain. Under floodlighting, quite cool, 24 degrees. Ambient temperature, track is only 17 degrees though. So it's going to be quite difficult to get the tires up to temperature. And we'll probably not need the hard tyre this week. across the line for a first flying lap. 2:15.7, 2:12.7 is the top time. But we have a lot of time to find in that extension. And we'll hopefully be able to find a bit more time too as the tyres heat up. Up there, awkward line. Try not to lock up the front tires. Porsche seems to be struggling a bit with the bumps here. I can see 1.2 seconds up on our previous time. Mainly found in the middle sector, trying to carry a lot more speed through turn 11. Finds us by 3/10. Car getting a little unsettled, braking for turn 13. Finding a little bit of time in the final turn as well. Get ourselves back up to P4. Into the chicane. A little bit wide of that apex. Another quarter of a second so far. Make that half a second as we find some more time into turn 10. Best line through turn 13, but we're still half a second up. And we pop ourselves back up to P4. front left has reached 88% worn. Just locked the front right there. I've got the front tires up to temperature, but I don't think that's really much use with how worn they are. Which isn't good when it comes to the pit stops. You know, if they're that worn, you know, if they continue wearing like this over the opening stint of the race, we'll definitely have to change them. It'll cost us about 8 seconds, 5 seconds in the pit stop to change 2 tyres, plus an extra few seconds for the cool tyres on the out lap compared to not changing any tyres. Like we only have 1 more lap of fuel and energy. So we'll either complete this lap with an improvement or we'll practice the pit entry. Rear brakes starting to lock ever so slightly in the braking zone for T1. Ups. This part of the track. Problem is I've put a little bit of a flat spot on the tires. So now they constantly just want to lock. I just got turned 10 slightly too much. Oh well. We'll practice pit entry. And that'll be our session done. That turn 12, long right hander, also puts a lot of stress on the front left tyre. Okay, that's good practice. It wasn't 2 on the limit, because remember our tyres will be much more worn when we come in for our actual pit stop. So still sitting in P4. A little annoyingly, there's quite a gap between. Okay, we've got another car, Peugeot, that's close to us, but we've got what 7 tenths up to the next car in front, and then it's 1.3 seconds down to sixth. Still waiting. Ooh, thinking of hard tires on the front end for the Peugeot behind us.
Teams and drivers go to the grid
Okay.
for a race start.
So, finally ready for a restart. We'll put full fuel in. I don't think it'll go 27 laps. But that's the endurance section part of this track means that we don't really need to fuel save. Or we shouldn't really. You seem to only see 10 hypercars. There's like meant to be like 16. Like 16 in each class. Missing 3 GT3s, but 6 hypercars. And one of the cars, the Toyota in front of us, is one of the reserves. So, yeah, a bit disappointing. We'll wait on the grid then. I love how aggressive the headlights message is. Turn on headlights now in full caps. Oh, switch to just hard front left.
Formation lap has started.
Using the hybrid to pull away. Waiting for the start here. Right behind Peugeot. We're waiting for the start. A little bit of a slow reaction, to be honest. Really good reaction from someone behind. It's going to be 3 wide into T1. Yep, so the inside of the Toyota that completely missed T1. Big slide for the Peugeot in front. Peugeot's completely missed their braking point and has spun off. And that's us up to P4. Struggling to get the car slowed down for turn 10. But just trying to not lock up the front tires. Went in too deep, braked a little too late for the cool tires still. We have got a Cadillac up in third that we had qualified, so hopefully we can catch up to them. But the Alpine behind us trying to put us under a bit of pressure. I'm trying to use qualifying braking points. While the tires are still a bit cold and we're heavy with fuel, of course. Just massive front right lockup. Alpine was looking for a gap that was never going to be there. Had to back out of it, nearly lost the car trying to do so. It is putting a Cadillac under pressure now. Goes for a move to the inside, 13. Cadillac trying to hold it around the outside. Foot slipped a little bit on brake pedal. Cadillac holds around the outside for the final corner. Toyota is a little bit displeased, flashes their lights. That's not good in many favours though. see, we really are closing up. Cadillac very wide there. Toyota looking to the inside, but very ambitious place to make a move. First to break early there. More flashing of the lights from the Toyota. Gotta be careful I don't do that too many times, otherwise they'll get telling off. From the stewards, wide for the Cadillac. Toyota's going to try the outside here. Very ambitious. Cadillac does not leave them a lot of space, but the Toyota still gets the move done. A little bit wide through the final corner. Toyota going defensive. Very wide there for the Toyota. Picked up half a track limit point there. Toyota's going off to Narnia. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, Toyota's ruined our day. Let's see if we can catch back up to the Cadillac, who's done the exact same thing. Well, we somehow made up 2 positions in that, but we did pick up some damage along the way, which isn't ideal. Look at the time we're losing down start finish straight. apex there. A little bit of looking, trying to get the car to slow down for turn 10. That Porsche that qualified in P5 has fallen down to P8. Doesn't seem like the hard tyre is quite working out for them. And we've started to damage our front left quite a bit. Closed in a lot there, but it's ran wide on the exit. Right-hander there. Just running a smidge wide, but of course a smidge is enough to get track limit points. Oh, come on, that wasn't a cut. Not even 15 minutes into this race and I'm racking them up. Of course, we'll have to contend with GT3 traffic. Quick to see. DT already for that Peugeot on the hard tyre. Yeah, like our medium. Still below optimum temperature. As we found out at Portimao last week, when you switch from a medium to hard, it doesn't sort of retain at the same temperature. It can drop sort of like 6 to 10 degrees. So while we had the medium tyre at the operating temperature for the hard, we were struggling to get the hard tyre last week up to the optimal temperature for it. It's nice when the Corvette threw themselves wide so that you passed in a section of the track that we'd otherwise have no overtakes. Slipstream to try and help mitigate time lost from the damage. Looks like the Alpine's lost some time in the traffic. Evening, Kiki. We're about 20 minutes through this race so far, and it's been somewhat eventful. Qualified P4, up into P3, but not necessarily in the manner that we would have wanted. We had two cars in front of us spin. Fortunately, one of them spun right in front of us. Has given us some damage that you can see in the bottom right. Allowed the Alpine to close in on us, but as we've been passing some GT3 traffic over the past couple of laps. That gap has opened up once again. I can fix that. Oh, come on. I even lifted. It's barely cut as well. Like ever so slight. There we go. Can be a little bit difficult to see in these LMP cars. Do anything by being behind a GT3 there, except sort of dive bomb them there into that left-hander. Is that BMW defending? We're definitely going to have to change front tires at the pit stop. Or we could change all four. All four is technically the safer play. But it does cost you an extra 7 or 8 seconds in the pits compared to just changing 2. lapping like 3 seconds a lap slower than the 2 leaders. Partly because they're just quicker, partly because of the damage. Didn't hamper us, but of course not ideal for the tyre. See headlights of cars on the other part of the track. Car behind was 4/10 quicker, with us setting personal bests. Which is not a good sign. Have to make sure I get rid of the track limits. Otherwise I eventually will end up with a penalty. Still a very long way to go in this race. Halfway through the stint. Nearly too soon. right-hand thumb is getting sore. Car behind invalidated last lap. Again, had to wait for the track limit to clear. Good news is we have a 20-second gap to everyone else. As we suspected after qualifying, it's kind of going to be a little bit lonely. Might have someone else to race. Obviously wasn't expecting it to be the Alpine. Looks like a good battle in front. For the lead again. Cars have already pitted this race. slightly docked. Minutes into the race, 1 hour to go. Personal best this lap. Nearly sub 15. .9 seconds quicker than the Alpine. Extend the gap on the Alpine, the more I'm thinking, yeah, let's just change all 4 tires. Of course, there's a risk with only changing the fronts that you really throw off the balance of the car. At the moment, it would put us behind the Alpine. Yeah, you just stay in line, Ferrari. Depending on when the Alpine catches those GT3s, could lose a bit more time. I.e. if they don't catch them before this point of the track. Big front right lock up there. Also have to figure out how much fuel we're gonna need. Way too late on the turn in there. Between the lockup and turning into the time the Alpine might have lost behind the GT3s, we've thrown away anyway. I've seen a yellow flag flashing there, but I don't know if that was on this part of the track or the other side of the track. "20 laps done." Gaps opened up to 9.2 to the Alpine, which puts us in the territory of changing all 4 tyres. That's awkward to give up the track limits. Time while also trying to pass the GT3 Porsche. I mistimed the run, looking to the right hand side. "13 seconds now to the Alpine. They've had a very problematic lap. So we're gonna have 2 more laps here until we pit. Good pit lap 24. I'm gonna put in fuel for 46 laps just to be safe. Fry spun in the wall. So we'll pit at the end of this lap. The Alpine might go 1 lap longer, but it might not. Car just started to slide as I turned in there. Alright, into the pits. There's a bit of time coming into the pits just because of the car in front of us. Alpine follows us in, but we should be guaranteed to come out of the pits in front of them. Waiting on the tyre change now, car up on the jacks. Spinning the wheels and then the car firing up as we get up to speed. Corvette doesn't come out in front of us, which is nice. Get some heat into the rear tires too, spinning the wheels with the hybrid. Ooh, big double front lockup going into T1. Of course, we're not going to be much faster than the GT3s in this section with cool tires. Back up to the Alpine now, 10 seconds. And they went full fuel. So they only took 2 tires, I can guarantee you that. Looks like a big slide there for the McLaren. It's quite handy for us. Fry spun into the wall again. I think that's Fry that spun into the wall in the other section of the track. Okay, you can see the car behind gained like 8 seconds on us last lap, and that most of that would have been through the pit lane. wide for the apex there. So it seems like one hypercar has retired. Or maybe two hypercars, sorry. I can just see a red dot behind the GT3 that has retired. We lapped nearly 2 seconds quicker than the Alpine last lap. Gonna catch these GT3s? No, it doesn't seem like it. Front left tire still wearing out more than the rest, but not as badly as it was in the first stint. Not locking it up as badly.
Starting to lock there. I have no idea what this McLaren's doing. Very erratic driving.
Change for the lead. Porsche's lost the lead, BMW's taken it. Nearly spun the car there, trying to put the power down. Front end kind of give up a little bit through the left-hander. Like that front left. I've been much kinder on it this stint, but still nearly 10% lower than the rest of the tyres. Don't think it's quite as bad as it was last stint, but still seems pretty bad when you compare it to how all the other tyres are at the moment. Trying 1 second gap now to the Alpine behind. Just continuing to extend it. Tyre started to go right there. brakes up, throttled too early there. Trying to see if I could get a new personal best. Sub 15. I was gonna say, how much do I have to lift there? As a good turns 9 and 10. Quarter of a second up, one turn to go. Lost just a smidge of time in the final corner, but will still be a new personal best, 2:14.8. Wonder where that could be if we didn't have any damage. There from of the apexes. Had to take an awkwardly tight line too because of the Ferrari GT3 with a lock-up into turn 10. Tighter line 3, turn 11 worked. Don't know what that... I think it's where I was going. They were very wide. best here. Like catch 3 GT3 cars in this section. Maybe 4 actually. Was this three-way fight for P4? Oh, nearly spun it there. Mustang was out wide there, but got a good exit. There's also a very awkward move on the Aston. Wasn't really intending to go for a move there, but just kind of felt like the Aston was wanting me to pass. At least that's how it felt. But that also could have just been them getting held up by the 2 cars in front. I certainly didn't help the Aston there. I kind of dropped them back off the other 2 cars, which is not what I intended. Not what I wanted to do. A few more front lockups. Yeah, that McLaren was like, what line is that? That's a very tight line. Every other GT3 I've seen has ran much wider than that. Minutes to go as we complete lap 39. We have 7 laps of fuel and energy, which should safely see us through to the end. Looks like it's going to be 6 more laps, maybe just 5. half a lap behind the leaders. Speaking of leaders, here's the two GT3 leaders. Really difficult to see where the apex was there behind the BMW. You couldn't really see anything of the track, just the rear bumper of the BMW. Laps to go, I think. Five minutes left. Not get a track limit point. How many are we on? 2.75 out of 4. Which we've been sitting on for well over an hour at this point. Kept it clean regarding track limits. Since we had that moment of picking up basically all of our points within like 10 or 20 minutes towards the start of the race. Leader for DT for the leader. I've nearly missed that right-hander. So yeah, the Peugeot has given up the win of this race by getting a DT. Coming up to lap our first Hypercar. We can't follow them wide off the track there. This is the last lap we're about to start or not. One minute to go. I think there will be one more lap after this. Hasn't come up to say one lap to go, so yeah, I think we have 2 more laps here. See how much we closed in on the Porsche. The braking so much more confident than them with the brakes. Leader comes into the pits. Time has run out. But the leaders have started one final racing lap. Final lap then. DT for the car behind on the final lap. It'll make no difference to the results, so since everyone behind them is a lap down. There we go, end of the race. Well, there we go. Was an interesting start to that race. And then after that, it kind of nothing happened, for us at least. Yeah, well, how many people? What, 20 got finished the race? That's a little bit disappointing to only have 20 people finish and 23 starting. So yeah, not much to say about that. Unfortunate we picked up the damage, but you know, we did get past the Toyota, which did out-qualify us. Was a little bit, and did seem like it was going to be a little bit quicker than us. So we probably wouldn't have got the podium. Yeah, then the Toyota retired. I don't know if they had some other issues or if they just give up after that, which again would have been disappointing because, I mean, well, the lowest Porsche finished, or the lowest Hypercar finished 2 laps off the lead, with another 3 laps cars off the lead lap. You know, only half of the cars that finished were on the lead lap. You know, and DT's coming into it, you know, helping there, like, well, technically nearly 3 minutes off. So yeah, not the most eventful race. But that is just the way it is sometimes. Hopefully next week will be a little bit more interesting. I mean, there was going to be the strategy element. Did you take 2 tires? Or did you take all 4? You know, I was really 50-50 on that call. And it's only because of the gap I had that I was like, oh, hey, let's play it safe. And then it's like, yeah, whereas, you know, if you were like in that battle for the lead, I think that's a real like, oh, which way do you go, you know? A real twinkos. Twinkos? Twintos. Um so yeah, hopefully next week will be a little bit more interesting. I think it's Le Mans. So I'll double check what is after we do the Art of Rally daily stage. Ran this on Friday where we got 23rd in the end, top 5%. That's a good going. On Tuesday we got 27th. So let's see if we can get another top 30 in a Group A car at Sardinia, 7.6 kilometer stage. Let's see what we have. Mitsubishi? Yeah, Mitsubishi. Don't cut too much there, otherwise game will reset us. Cut that bit. There's finish 210.8. 23rd, again, top 5%. But of course, there is still a few hours to go on that. So, with that said, that is going to be the end of today's stream. Shame it was a bit lonely out on track. Definite shame indeed. But next week, we are at Le Mans, and it's not just the regular Mans, it is Le Mans Mulsanne. That means no chicanes along the Mulsanne Straight, just well, I don't know how long it is. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a bit boring, that straight. But hopefully it means that there is some more racing action, and that will probably be a two-stop race, I imagine. Because with how long that straight is, and how long you're going to be flat out on it, I can't imagine having the sort of the fuel consumption to go 50 minutes. Not to mention how long the lap is, which makes it a bit more difficult to eke out an extra lap with the fuel tank. You might not be able to use all 100% of the fuel tank and energy within a stint. You might only be able to use 96%, let's say. Whereas if you were at 96, you'd be able to do one more lap at pretty much any other track. But not Le Mans, certainly not the Mulsanne without chicanes, I should say. So yeah, that should hopefully be interesting. But as well, we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll be back for some more GT3 racing. We are going to be at Monza again without the chicane tomorrow. First time doing a race there. It should be pretty interesting. That will be at 7:30 p.m. UK time. But before that, in the afternoon, we're going to have the WRC Creator Series, as usual. This week is at Croatia in... I'm trying to remember... Group B cars, rear-wheel drive too. So that should be quite interesting on tarmac roads. Croatia's not the most interesting rally within the EAWRC game, but yeah, the Group B cars are certainly interesting cars. So hopefully they'll sort of balance each other out on that regard. And yeah, and then after that, we'll be back on Friday for the final round of our Friday GT3 series. That will be at Imola, starting 7:45 p.m. on Friday, before we are back on Sunday. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow, whether it be for WRC or the Mon Ultimate, but or maybe both. But yeah, till then. Thank you, Kiki, for chatting along. Thank you to those who popped in, were lurking for a bit, or are watching the VOD back. Hope you all enjoyed. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Until then, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the start of your Monday. And until next time, take care. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.